In episode 1, the story began with Samadare urgently warning Senpai that he had to kill the creature in front of them, insisting that if he didn't, he'd live to regret it for the rest of his life. But Senpai calmly replied that he couldn't do it. Despite Samadare's pleas, Senpai remained firm, saying he was making the right choice and was sure of it. The narration then shifted to the past. Long ago, terrifying and ruthless Oni had roamed the land, taking joy in butchering humans and destroying everything in their way. But one man rose against them, Momotaro. He had stormed the island of Onigashima, defeating countless Oni. That had only been the beginning of a bloody war between Momotaro and the Oni, a battle that would span generations. Elsewhere, a phone rang, and someone angrily picked up, questioning why they were being called. Upon hearing that they had been expelled, they laughed sarcastically, calling it hilarious. They told the caller not to worry about it, since they had never liked the people involved anyway. They said the two of them could have handled things on their own and apologized for stealing the spotlight. Before hanging up, they mocked the caller, calling them a loser. After the call ended, the expelled person seemed to reflect, wondering what to do now. Meanwhile, at a liquor store, Seiki stormed in and confronted his son Shiki, demanding an explanation for getting expelled. Shiki, rubbing his head, told his father to shut up. Seiki was shocked his son would speak to him like that, but Shiki dismissed the situation, saying it didn't matter. Seiki grew angrier, asking what was going on with all the firearms lying around, reminding Shiki that they ran a liquor store, not a gun shop. Shiki snapped back, saying Seiki barely sold anything these days. Seiki warned him to watch his mouth and stay out of adult matters. But Shiki mocked the idea, saying he didn't want to grow into a pathetic adult like Seiki anyway. He added that they didn't even share the same blood, so he had nothing to worry about. That remark visibly hurt Seiki, but before he could respond, he answered a customer call requesting a beer delivery and promised to handle it soon. As Seiki hung up, he muttered to himself, calling Shiki a stupid kid and wishing a rich guy had taken him in instead. Suddenly, something strange happened. A mysterious man appeared and called out to Shiki, telling him to get in the car. Shiki refused, confused about what was going on, and joked nervously about possibly having to flee overseas. He even questioned if the man was a loan shark and said killing him wouldn't solve anything. Shiki corrected him, the man wasn't dead at all. Though he looked lifeless, he had survived. Seiki told Shiki to listen carefully, because there wasn't time to explain everything. Out of nowhere, Seiki shouted for Shiki to watch out, and then Seiki dropped a shocking truth. Shiki had Oni blood inside him, and the man they had just encountered was a descendant of Momotaro. Shiki was in disbelief, thinking it was some kind of joke, but Seiki insisted it was true. Before they could react, they realized their pursuer had already caught up. As panic set in, Shiki demanded to know what was happening. That's when the Momotaro agent revealed himself, declaring that Oni blood made Shiki a pest to humanity, and exterminating pests was the mission of the Momotaro agency. The agent explained that the Momotaro fairy tale had always been real. For thousands of years, a war between the descendants of Momotaro and the Oni had raged on. Eventually, Momotaro's descendants united to form the Momotaro agency, while the Oni were forced to hide among humans for survival. The agent told Shiki to stay out of the fight, the adults would handle things from here. He then summoned a strange black mist, a power unique to those with Momotaro blood. Recognizing Seiki, the agent addressed him by his old name, Tsuyoshi Momogawara, a former Momotaro agent, but Seiki warned him not to use that name again. He was now Tsuyoshi Ichinose. The agent wasn't impressed, stating that changing his name didn't change his blood. He accused Seiki of forgetting how dangerous the Oni truly were, and declared that for harboring an Oni, Seiki would be killed along with Shiki. Seiki stood his ground, yelling that the agent wouldn't be killing anyone. Shiki, confused and overwhelmed, couldn't understand why his father was protecting him. The agent insisted Oni were monsters that harmed humans. But Seiki countered, saying Shiki hadn't done anything wrong. He hadn't hurt anyone and didn't deserve to die just because of the blood in his veins. He asked the agent if someone with blood on their hands from killing so many people could still hold their own child and speak of justice. The agent snapped, telling him to shut up. Shiki, frozen with emotion, watched helplessly. He questioned why he was just standing there, watching his father get hurt, while he himself was the one being hunted. He demanded to know what the agent's problem was. How dare he hurt his father? Shiki's rage reached its peak. He shouted that he would kill the man. Again and again he screamed that he would kill him until something inside him awakened. Observers watching noted that Oni were feared not just because they could manipulate blood, but because of their uncontrollable savagery and loss of humanity. Shiki, now overwhelmed by his transformation, roared in rage, declaring again and again that he would kill. The agent cursed him, calling him a filthy Oni. But suddenly, Shiki collapsed. One of the observers calmly explained it was a typical response: memory loss in body mutation. They coldly stated that all Oni must be eradicated. After seeing Shiki's true form, they questioned whether Senpai still believed he had made the right choice in protecting him. Cut to the aftermath, an explosion had rocked the area. Onlookers assumed it was a gas explosion. Someone called for the fire department. A passerby approached Shiki, asking if he needed help. But Shiki refused an ambulance. Nearby, Seiki lay dying. He apologized to Shiki for keeping so many secrets. He admitted it must be confusing for his son, but said he hadn't known how to tell him the truth that his Oni blood made him a target. Seiki confessed he wouldn't be around for much longer. But before he died, he urged Shiki to become strong enough to defeat both the Momotaro and the Oni so he could live freely and protect his happiness. He asked Shiki to make that promise. Shiki, sobbing, shouted at him to stop with the dramatic farewell. He wasn't ready. He cried that they still had things to talk about. He begged him not to die yet, to stay, and keep calling him an idiot like always. Shiki regretted his words, recalling how he had once said they didn't share the same blood. He desperately wanted to take it back and pleaded for his father to respond. But Seiki didn't. In the shadows, a mysterious group watched the events unfold. One of them criticized Sonodere for making a move on his own, calling it a failure. Another mocked the new Momotaro agents, saying they were growing weaker with every generation. They all agreed on one thing: the public could never be allowed to learn of the Oni's existence. They decided there was only one course of action left to kill the Oni child before he awakened his full potential. They vowed to find and exterminate every last Oni still hiding in human society permanently. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss episode 2. Let us know what you thought of Shiki's awakening and the clash between Oni and Momotaro in the comments below.